Good afternoon. We're here today speaking with Alfredo Behrens.
Behrens,
okay. About his book, Teresa the Flying Cow, which is available both in English and in Portuguese. And in Portuguese, the title is?
Teresa Voa.
Oh, very interesting. Can you tell us, Senor Alfredo, a little bit about the book and what inspired you to write this book for children?
I think it's a fascinating book, if I may say. I was living in Panama and I migrated to the US, Washington, D.C. And I had to explain to my children why I had left and when I would bring them with me. But they were small, so I used to record songs and words on cassettes and send them over to Panama. 20 years later, I decided to write the book. And the book is the story of a cow that was unsatisfied in Panama because the pastures were not green enough and her calf, Juan Francisco, did not have enough to eat. So she learned from the sparrows where greener pastures lied.
Okay.
At first she wouldn't believe it. I mean, sparrow speaking to a cow, but eventually she agreed, if there are greener pastures, I might as well learn to fly.
Wow.
And they coached the cow to fly to DC. And of course, it was difficult coaching. Mm-hmm. They threw her downhill with blankets on the forearms, on the legs, and she beat them, and she eventually flew.
Oh, wow.
But then they had to train her to fly north. And the cow said, well, how? He said, well, if the sun rises on your right hoof, you're okay.
Yeah.
And what if I turn around and it rises on my left hand? You'll arrive in the same place, it will only take you longer. But there were hurricanes and they tumbled the cow all over the place, and the cow wondered, well, this must be what the humans call a milkshake. But if so, why do they like it? Eventually the cow landed in DC, escorted by US Air Force jets, and she was received like a celebrity.
Wow.
And that was the time when she started living in DC, raised the money to bring Juan Francisco over. But that's the second book. I haven't written that.
Oh, wonderful.
The first section is the cow learning to fly and flying to DC. And actually it's a story of all migrants. And this is why I think it's quite timely.
Absolutely.
Because all migrants want the best for their families. And if the best is here, well, this is what they will do. They will continue coming here. Because this is where the greener pastures lie. And it's a beautiful story, I think, because it's a story of learning to overcome obstacles.
That's wonderful.
Right?
Yes.
And bringing the best for your children and the sacrifice of doing it. I think it's a very inspiring story.
Absolutely.
And I wrote it in a way that it will be enticing for the parents to read it to the children, because most children books, parents get bored in reading to the children because the stories are nice, but they're very childish.
Yes, it's definitely a very relevant topic. We thank you for writing that. And you say there's a second book in the works that will continue the story?
Yes, eventually, if people like it and buy the book, I will write the saga of it. The cow will eventually bring the calf to DC, and then we will have the idea of how the locals have to adapt to having people that are not exactly like them.
Awesome.
The calf will go to school, she will go to the public pool, she will take a bus, right? And learning to accept the differences is part of what makes the world better.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to reading that down the line, and we thank you for spending time with us and telling us about your book today.
I'm very grateful that you invited me. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much.